Welcome to another year of Rounding Third Base 2017. I would like to start off by introducing a few of the new owners that we have. The first one is Cineyard Sale, which is owned by Mike Fazzone. And the second one is Rise of Squid, which is owned by Squiddy. Please introduce yourself to them, make them feel at home. Let's show them what a great league this really is. So the first thing I want to do is just go over a few of the things, basically for the new owners, and maybe just to reiterate some of the things that we've done in the past. Also, I'm going to go over some of the newer things that we're going to be doing this year, and then I'm going to sum it up by letting the new owners in on some of the old owners and what they're getting themselves into, just give them a little heads up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to start off by saying is basic stuff, what the league's about, how we draft. We're going to be drafting on Fantrax like we do every year. The reason why we draft on Fantrax instead of ESPN is because we keep players in certain rounds. ESPN doesn't allow us to do that, so that's why we go over to Fantrax, which it's very easy transition because one year we tried doing it on ESPN and it was a nightmare. So Fantrax is definitely the way to go when we draft. To further get into what the league's about, so fees and fines. So first of all, this year it's $300. It's only going to be $150 for the expansion teams, which are the two new owners. We're also going to have, in that $300 is going to be included league dues, which the league dues are basically for a trophy and also a championship ring, which we give away every year, and the winner gets to keep that ring forever. And it's going to have their name on it, it's going to have the year, it's their ring forever. The trophy we give back every year, but the ring is yours if you win. Also, we're going to have bonus categories, mystery, the $25 extra, it's on top of the $300. So if you want in on the mystery bonus category, you have to declare it. I'll be posting stuff just to show how that's done. Also, we're going to have a incentive program, which we do every year. Basically, the incentive program works as follows. So if there's two owners and the one owner wants to play the other owner, whoever's higher in the standings, it doesn't matter what place you're in, if you're in that tier with that person, then basically you're going to beat them. So it's almost like a side bet, but it's a way for all the owners to participate in a given amount. It's totally optional, but you can do it up to $300 is the maximum for the incentive. Anything past that, if you want to do something with somebody, in private, whatever, as long as there's no colluding, that's fine. But just this is what we do in the league. It's increments of $50. So every $50 you put in, anybody else who puts in $50, we take all that money and pull it together, and then that becomes the incentive. Also, this year we're going to be working on a weekly points gainer. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Right now I'm just going over the basic stuff. That's something new that we're doing for this year. That will be included in the $300. That's why it's a little bit more this year. But I think this is going to be an excellent way for all of us to pay attention towards the end. Even if we don't have a shot, we still have a way to kind of still be part of the league and participate and all that fun stuff. I'm going to get into that though. Also, we are going to talk about payout structure. So payout structure is going to be as follows. First place, second place, third place get paid from the pool. First place is 60%, second place is 30%, third place is 10%. That's from all the prize pool money. That doesn't include any bonus incentives, points gainers, anything like that. That's just what's in the pool. Also, the first place winner obviously gets the ring and the trophy and all that good fun stuff. As far as keepers go, I think the new owners did a pretty good job with the keepers, the way that they have it work. So basically, every year you have to go up around from the year before. So if somebody from this year was drafted in the 15th round, then that means next year they have to be drafted in the 14th round or earlier. So that means you can have multiple guys in the same round. You just have to designate a spot for them. And if there's no spot for them, then you got to throw them back. So basically, you can't have two second-round players because one's going to be your first-round pick, the next one is going back in no matter what. So that's basically how that works. Fairly self-explanatory, and I actually made a spreadsheet for everybody just to kind of show where everybody took their players and where they were supposed to be drafted and all that good stuff. So, when I send out the email, you're going to see all that stuff. Like I said, the draft is April 2nd this year, 8 o'clock. It's on Fantrax. We're also going to be doing a farm system draft, which is also new, and I'm going to get into that. And that is going to be on Fantrax after the draft. We're also going to do a draft order for that as well. I'm going to do that in an up-and-coming video. Also, as far as the rosters go, this is all basic stuff just for the new owners. As you can see, you do 2 catchers, a first baseman, second base, third base, corner, middle, shortstop, 5 outfielders, a designated hitter. You're going to have 2 utility guys. You're going to have a bench of 8 disabled players. Disabled players have to be by ESPN standards. That's something I don't control. So whenever they go on the disabled list is when they go on the disabled list. That has nothing to do with me. I can't place guys on the disabled list. You can actually keep them on there when they become healthy, but the only thing is that you can't make any trades or anything like that. Or if you try to make a move or an acquisition, it's going to say, hey, you got to get this guy off of your disabled list before you can make any moves. So that's just one of the things. That's another ESPN thing. I have no control over that stuff. Pitchers, we have 8 starting, 6 relievers. Okay, pretty standard. It's a pretty deep league, but we prefer it that way just so we kind of utilize all the players in baseball. And that's pretty much it. The standings, you can all see where the standings are. Just know the categories. Trades, we do 4 trades between owners. So that means that there's no limit on how many you can do in a trade. So you can trade 10 guys, you can trade 1 guy, but you only have a max of 4 between each owner. So we don't want to start getting crazy in the trades where some owners might trade same guys back and forth 5 or 6 times. That's why we put a max as 4 between owners. Acquisitions, you get 80 first come first serve moves for the whole season, which means you can pick anybody up at any time of day as long as they're not on waivers. By waivers, what that means is that if somebody drops somebody and they had already played a game, then that person goes on waivers for 4 days, and then they become free agents. Now, you can put a bid in for them, which means there'll be a standing. You'll see where you are in the waiver order. And then if somebody important gets dropped and a bunch of people go to pick them up, the person who has waiver priority will get that person. But any free agents, anybody can pick up at any time. Those are players who were not drafted, were not picked up, were not dropped, anybody like that, or people who have just lapsed time between the times that they were dropped. Okay? That's pretty much it with the stuff. Now, pretty much it with the old stuff. Now I'm going to start getting into some of the newer stuff. So here we go. This is the minor league draft. This is how this works. With the minor league draft, it's going to be 10 rounds, which you can take anyone you want in year 1. So if you want to take minor league prospects, if you want to take somebody who's a starter, basically all we're trying to do this year is basically build a foundation for the future. Because see, every year we try to get this farm system going and we can just never do it because when February or March rolls around, then people just don't have the time to really look into it and see how, if it can work or not. And we've always tried to come up with an idea for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this off as a placeholder for next year. So take whoever you want in the later rounds. I would suggest take guys who are not in the majors. Just keep those guys as your farm guys. You can call anybody up at any time. But the only thing is that once you call them up, you can't send them back. And basically, for next year, you can have that open spot. But if you got 8 guys still in your farm system going into next year, that means you're only taking 2 guys from the farm draft the following year. And we're going to have that more established. We're going to get into discussions about it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to make it work. But you're going to see what I'm going to do on the website where I'm going to create a farm team for every owner. And each guy is going to be able to send a trade offer to that farm team to get the players onto their team. So that's basically how we're going to create this farm system. I think it'll work out well. We're going to try it out. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time. Hopefully things work out well. Anything else you want to read? I do have it in the Constitution, so there's that. So I think that's pretty much it for the minor league thing right now. We can discuss it more, but basically all it is, it's going to be 10 guys after the draft right on Fantrax. So it's going to be rounds 41 to 50. Okay? Now, the other new thing we have is the weekly points gainer. Now, the way this works is what I've decided to do for this year is, starting after the All-Star break, it's going to be July 17th, and that's a Monday. That Monday, I'm going to take a snapshot of the standings. And by Sunday, whoever has the largest gain from Monday to Sunday will receive an extra $50. We're going to do this all the way till the end. I believe, not till the very end, but it's going to be, I believe, 2 weeks before Sunday, September 17th. I think there's 2 weeks after baseball left after that. So it's basically a total of 9 weeks. So you have a chance to gain a little bit at the end if you want to. You know, this way it kind of gives you a little incentive to just kind of pay attention when, you know, if you really don't feel like you have a shot, you're kind of building for next year. You can still try to get this points gainer thing if you know, if that's what you want to do. Now, here's where I want to have a little fun with this. What I like to do is I like to basically let some of the newer owners in on us and kind of just give them a little bit of background as to our story and like why we're here and what we do and who we are and that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, I don't know everybody on a personal level like that, but, you know, I'm kind of giving a broad generalization as to who we are in this league. So, you know, this way they kind of have an idea, you know, maybe not, who knows. But anyway, so let's start off by, we'll go off from last year's champion. Last year's champion was My Boyfriend as a Pitcher, owned by Michael Mainville. Now, what can I say about Michael Mainville? Let's see. Yeah, he's won every year. Yep, won every year. I don't know what else to say, but he's won every year. We started in 2012, so he won in 2012, 2013, again in 2014, 2015, and last year, yeah, he won last year too. So he's won every year. So that gives you a little bit of ideas to Michael Mainville. He's won every year. So yeah, that's what you're face up against. You know, his team is rock solid. You know, he's right on top of things. You know, he listens to podcasts and he knows everything that's going on in baseball. He knew nothing about baseball, believe it or not, when we started doing this, and he's just become this guy who can tell you the hard hit averages for like the top 400 guys. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, you might want to call him the main villain. Just anyway. So, sorry. All right, so let's get on to the big Latin machine. That's machine. That's how it's pronounced. Machine. Not machine, machine. So, what can we say about the machine? Let's see. I don't know. Why does he torture himself every year? Does he enjoy getting creepy phone calls from Scotty at 2 o'clock in the morning, asking him if he's laying there naked? Does he enjoy that? Is that what he wants? Is that like what he desires? Does he like living in the shadows of Mike Mainville? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe, who knows? His team's solid. He participates. But I think he needs to get a life. I really do. I really think he needs to get a life. Seriously, what the hell are you doing with your life? I don't know. He's probably gay. Anyway, so we're going to move on to Carbo. Carbo, now he is the king of third place. This guy, he is unbelievable. He finishes in the money. He gets paid, but he gets paid third place almost every year. And everything he does and we do, and all the fantasy leagues we do football, we do basketball, we do baseball. He is like third place champion. If I can make a ring for a third place champion, I would make it for Carbo every single year. He is the third place champ. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like if you kind of think of Carbo, he's almost like, he's like right there with his team. Like his team's solid, but he's kind of like steak without eggs, or like a BLT without the T, or like Kool-Aid without the sugar. You know, Kool-Aid without, yeah. Or maybe he's like the Machine without a girlfriend. Oops, sorry. That was a low blow, Carbo. That was unnecessary. That was way too I didn't mean to insult you like that. That was bad. I'm sorry. But anyway, king of third place. Now, let's go on to Gallic Storm. Gallic Storm is basically like Mr. Moneyball. You know, he gets there. His team is solid, but he just can't get that final out. He can't get that. He's right there, but he seems like he's going to win. If you look at his team by like the All-Star break, he looks like he's running away with it, and then all of a sudden things happen, things fall apart. Yeah, I don't know. One day, my friend, one day, we're all rooting for you. All right, let's see. Sloppy Seconds. Sloppy Seconds is still fairly new to the league. I believe this is his second or third year in the league. But he loves to trade. I mean, you know, you want to send him a trade offer, he'll trade. Trust me, he will trade with you. He will send you trade offers. He loves to trade. And that's a good thing because you got to share the wealth. That's what I say, share the wealth. You know, unless, you know, you want like one of my keepers and, you know, then you got to spread, you know. Anyway. So let's see. Let's move on to the Duda Abides. This team is owned by none other than the infamous John Reed. Now, John Reed, he's an interesting case because I feel as if he's been slowly building his team for this year. If you look at his team and his keepers and everything he has, all the pieces he has put together, I believe he's building himself a true dynasty. He is my top choice for this year. If not this year, then next year, because I believe in you, John Reed. I really do. Let's see it happen. Let's see. Now we have Field of Dreams, owned by Jim Fazone. Now, some of you may call him a brilliant owner, and some of you just may call him Dad. But whatever you may call him, he is a participating owner. He makes smart moves, and he's always thinking about the future. We love having you here, Jim. You're a great owner, and thanks for bringing your son aboard. And I hope that your son, Mike, talking to you as well, are going to enjoy the league just as much as everybody else does. And now, last but not least, I had to save this for last because he's the best. I'm a really good fister. Now, that's not just a team name, but I feel like with Scotty, it's a way of life. Just be cautious if you give him your phone number because he'll call you at 2 in the morning. He'll want to make a trade with you when you're half asleep, and he's going to want your #1 pick for some guy that he just picked up off free agency that day. That's what he does. Like, it's great. Like, he's going to call you, and he's going to harass you, and he's going to make you question your whole entire existence. But maybe that's a strategy. But then some might say, does he really have a strategy? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But when you look at it, he basically is the king of the 1 and 2 categories. I think one year he had 15 closers on his team just so he can win saves. Nobody could touch him in saves, but he still wanted your closer. He's just, yeah, Scotty. I guess the best word to use is just reckless. Just complete and utter reckless. I think this year, Scotty, you should go for stolen bases. Billy Hamilton, #3 overall. Take him. He's yours. He's yours for the taking. Billy Hamilton, #3 overall. Do it. I dare you. Do it. And that's it. So that's it. I just wanted to just give you a little idea as to what the league is about. Some of the owners in the league, some of the new stuff, some of the old stuff, just kind of reiterating some stuff, introducing everybody to the league, saying, let's have another great season of rounding third base.